Hello, dear students. Welcome to CR Digital Classes and welcome to my live for CCMA exam preparation tomorrow. As you are aware, your exam is tomorrow, 15th April 2025. So, before we begin into anything, I wish you all the best from CR Publishers. And we are here to support you to clear your doubts. Most of the students have been asking what are the expected questions, right? So, regarding the expected questions, both theory as well as problems, the PDF has been created and will be shared with you in the description. So it will be uploaded in meantime. So make sure you refer to the document. Okay. So what should be our preparation strategy until your exam starts tomorrow? So I would say focus on the formats, focus on the formulas. First, you focus on these two areas first. When it comes to Unit 4 and Unit 5, these are purely format based. Okay, a limited number of questions will be coming. You need not go through many topics like in Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3. You have a lot of topics. On contrary, you in Unit 4 and Unit 5, you have only formats, and the problems are also okay expected, right? If you solve 4 to 5 previous year questions, you will understand okay what is the pattern. Okay, you can easily solve it without any lot of confusion in the little time. Okay, you might have prepared, you might have not prepared. You have okay until 10 o'clock. Okay, you have little time. So in that time, how to best utilize your time? Okay, I would say download the cia app. Okay, whatever I'm saying, the formats and formulas are clearly given in the last minute revision notes there. And if you need any problem to be solved or any theory to be explained, okay, you can refer to my detailed videos that I have uploaded on this C app. So in this way, you can make the maximum benefit of the limited time you have. Okay, so cia app, you please download, and all the support is being provided through that. Okay, you just purchase the CCMA classes there, and all the PDF notes, all the important topics, expected questions, video lectures are all available there, right? In this video, we are going to cover a very quick revision, okay, a support kind of thing. What are the expected questions? What are the important questions? Which areas you need to focus, right? And I'll be going through the problems, what should be your strategy, all those things, right? This is about your preparation strategy until your exam begins, right? I'm asking you to be good with the formats, be good with the formulas. Okay, then download the cia app and make sure okay you refer to the notes there. Andulo, okay, we have all provided all the formats in detail, right? Formulas are there. We need not go any internet source, okay, searching for the format, searching for the formulas. Everything has been compiled together, and it is easy to refer, okay, easy to revise. In this little time, you cannot wander throughout the internet, okay, our web page bondi, web page bondi, right? So go with the C app, okay, trust the C app, okay, it is having quality content in it, right? So as I've mentioned, important questions which are expected, okay, will be provided in the description box. Okay, continue to check the description box. You will be finding the PDF there, right? Which will be uploaded in some time. Now, coming to the exam strategy. What should be your exam strategy? Many students, okay, have little fear because this is a CCMA, okay, purely problem-oriented paper. Okay, where I can get marks from theory, where I can score maximum, right? So for that, I would say focus on Unit 4 and Unit 5. At first, as you start the paper, as you begin your exam, you'll be having Part A and Part B, which we have already discussed in previous life. Okay, I'm not going into much details there, but I'm giving you an overview. Part A is for short answer questions. Part B is for long answer questions. Part B for 12 marks. Part A for, okay, 4 marks. Part A short answers can be from any unit. Okay, I mean, 5 units we have, right? Total 8 questions will be coming. Can be problems, can be theory. Okay, so we cannot guess much what will be coming, right? But for sure there will be a question from every unit, so you cannot skip, okay, at least one unit as well. In this video, we are going to focus more on Part B, how to fetch more marks in little time, right? Part B, when you are attempting the question paper, start with Part B, and this should be your what you say, the flow. When you are starting with Part B, okay, go with question number 9A or 9B first, as this is coming from Unit 1. Unit 1 have two topics, management accounting and marginal costing. This will be definitely a theory question. What kind of a question you can expect? Like what is the management accounting? Okay, what are its objectives, advantages, disadvantages, or features? You need not worry too much. Objectives are not too different from advantages, or not too different from features. If you carefully observe the points there, okay, you'll find a lot of similar points in all this, whether you're learning features, whether you're learning objectives, whether you're learning advantages. You'll see common points. Like if you are talking about management accounting, it is mainly useful for decision making to the management, right? So to analyze what is your performance, are you doing better or not, right? And in management accounting, unlike in the financial accounting, management accounting will provide you both financial information as well as non-financial information. Because in order to take decisions, you need not rely always on the financial information. You should also be having access to non-financial information as well. So these points you will find common, right? So you can start with Part B. Okay, if you are good with theory, you are not more of a mathematical brainy student, okay, go with a 9A question which focuses on management accounting question, okay, which will be based on theory. Then go to directly either question number 13 or question number 12. Okay, so question number 12A or 12B, this is coming from Unit 4, funds flow statement. Very less chances of getting a theory question here, okay, but advantages, it is format based. You can score maximum from these two units, Unit 4 and Unit 5. Question number 13A and 13B. So Unit 5 is cash flow here. So these two are format based. At least if you write the format, if you are able to solve the problem in the correct procedural way, you'll be getting, okay, good number of marks when compared to other units, right? After solving these three questions, right, you go to question number 10 and 11. Why I am saying this? Okay, you need passing marks of minimum 12 marks. I mean, sorry, 32 marks. You need 32 marks to pass. The reason why I want you to start with part B is to get maximum marks within limited time. When you are solving these questions, okay, you can see 36 marks being covered here. Just with three questions, you're getting 36 marks if you are okay solving it very perfectly. Not a problem, you'll be having okay enough time as well after solving these three questions. Okay, you can easily grab marks from here and from the other questions. So you, if you are a student who struggle with problems, okay, then CCMA paper you should know that it is full of problems. Okay, the subject itself is more calculation oriented, mathematical oriented, right? And if you're little okay struggling in calculations and all, right, maximum try to get okay from these areas, get marks from these areas. Okay, right. Now how many marks like how much time you need to spend on each question, right? Understand this. If you are solving a 4 marker question, if you're solving a 4 marker question, make sure you are not spending more than 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, if you ask me, okay, you should be able to solve the okay either it is a problem or a theory question, you need to solve within 5 minutes. Okay, but some problems may take little time more, so maximum to maximum you need to give 10 minutes. Okay, not more than that. And when it comes to the length of the answer, okay, if it is a theory question, okay, make sure one full page is covered. One full page is covered. Okay, right. Page ante one side, not one full paper. One side is covered. Okay. If it is a practical question, a problem question, okay, there is no fixed rule here. Depends on your calculation. It might take a full page. It might take a half page. That depends. Okay. So there is no fixed rule for practical questions here. But when it comes to theory questions, you need to make sure that you're at least covering a full page. How many points you need to write for a theory? Okay, minimum 4 points. I'm saying minimum. Okay, don't stretch too much. Okay, when you're answering a question of a theory based question, make sure you write side headings and then give your own explanation. When you're solving a 12-marker question, right, you can give 25 to 30 minutes max. If it is exceeding 30 minutes, okay, please stop and go to the next question. Okay, because you need to score maximum. In order to score maximum, you need to attempt the full paper, not only few questions. Okay, don't write 3 questions, 36 marks vachese kada. Don't return home. You need to attempt the full paper. Attempt the full paper. So in order to attempt the full paper, you need to manage your time well. So that's why I'm giving you the steps. Maximum to maximum 30 minutes. If it is exceeding, okay, if you can think, okay, another 5 minutes I will solve this, okay, you may. But if you think it will take more time than whatever you are expecting, then go to the next question, right? That is very much important. Okay, don't get stuck into one problem. Okay, don't waste your time on one single problem, right? And regarding the theory, if it is a theory, make sure 3 pages are covered minimum. Don't extend beyond 4, 5, 6 pages. Don't write like that. Okay, examiners are not interested in reading all your content there. Okay, so focus on the important points, key points. Focus only on those points. Okay, so మీరు ఒకవేళ if you're answering a theory question, okay, so as I was saying, you need to minimum fill 3 pages, and herein you need to write at least 6 to 8 points. When I'm saying points, it is subheadings as well as your own explanation. So make sure you spread these points in 3 pages minimum. Right, when it is practical, we can't say anything about the minimum number of pages. It may take 1 page, it may take 2 pages, it may take 3 or 4 more than that as well, right? So no fixed rule, right? So this is my strategy. Now We'll go unit wise. We'll quickly revise what all things are expected, right? We'll solve problems. Very quickly, we'll go through the key procedural aspects of Unit 5 cash flow statement. Cash flow statement, as I've mentioned, it is format based. Questions are also mostly expected. మీరు అనుకున్నట్లు questions వస్తాయి, right? You might have already solved 2 to 3 problems of previous year questions. In the same format, in the same way, you will be seeing the questions here with here and there few adjustments changing, right? So focus on the format. The format has been given, okay, on the CR app, and students mainly struggle with the calculation of cash flow from operating activities. Cash flow from operating activities, right? I'll give you a simple trick how to calculate the cash flow from operating activities, and then we'll go into the problems. We'll see the problem, how to solve it, okay, what to start, how to approach. Should I start with the working notes or should I start with the solution directly? If I'm starting the solution directly, where should I write the working notes? All these things we'll see. So very quickly, okay, the key difficult area of all students is cash flow from operating activities. So you need to start with the net profit. Start with this. Start with the net profit, take the net profit figure, and you need to add. These are the important areas. Whenever you see any item like dividend, provision for tax, if you see any depreciation as well as amortization. Depreciation is for tangible fixed assets, amortization is for intangible fixed assets, right? And you'll also see something like loss on sale of any fixed assets, or investments. Okay, you add all these items and you minus items like interest income. Sometimes they will call it as interest received, dividend received, okay, rent received, any gain on sale of any fixed asset or investments. Basically, we are minusing the incomes which are coming from the non-operating activities, right? So these are the items we need to add, and these are the items we need to minus. Why I'm specifically saying this is, when you look at these items, you know what to do. Depreciation is the most common adjustment, right? So you'll add it to the net profit, and then if you see any incomes, interest received or dividend received or rent received, a gain on sale of any fixed assets, we will minus. With this, you'll arrive at operating profit before working capital changes. This area is very, very important. Okay, from this area, the calculation is very important. You will add 2 items, you will minus 2 items. What items you'll add? You will add the inflows and you'll add the you will minus the outflows, right? What are the inflows? When I'm talking about the working capital changes, it is about the changes in the current assets and current liabilities. So whenever current asset is decreasing, like if the stock balance is decreasing from the previous year to the current year, you need to take it as a inflow. Cash is coming in. Similarly, when current liabilities are increasing, we'll consider that as an inflow. And then outflows, current assets are increasing. Exactly opposite rule works. Current liabilities are decreasing, you will minus. What I mean by increasing or decreasing, we'll see balances, okay, like this. You'll see previous year balance, you'll see current year balance. For example, if you see here, we have stock previous year is 2,46,000, current year is 2,13,000. 2,46,000 is the previous year balance. From that, okay, the balance has decreased 2,13,500 it has become. So it means that you have sold stock, you got the cash. So whenever current asset is decreasing, it is cash inflow. So that is what I am saying. Current asset, if it is decreasing, it is cash inflow. Current liability is increasing, cash inflow. Exactly opposite. Okay, మీరు ఒకటి ఇది గుర్తుపెట్టుకున్నా సరే, it is easy for you. If you at least try to remember what is inflow, okay, decrease in the current asset, increase in the current liability, if it is inflow, exactly opposite will be outflows. And this will mostly give you, okay, cash flow from operating activities. If there is any income tax, okay, that we need to deduct. Okay, so usually we arrive at cash generated from operations. We will minus income tax paid. That will give you cash flow from operating activities. So try to note down this. Okay, these are the items, usual items you will see in the questions. Okay, if at all any adjustments are given, okay, it will be around these adjustments only. Chala easyga score judge marks. It is purely format based, right? Let's look at the question. So as I was saying, both problems are expected in question number 13A and 13B. So 13A and 13B are fixed for unit 5, obviously. There are more chances that both questions are problems only. That's why I'm saying be good with the format, be good with the procedure, right? Very less chances are there that one theory or one problem will be coming. And in that as well, the only frequent theory question that is being asked is what is the difference between funds flow statement and a cash flow statement, right? One theory that is being expected is funds flow statement versus cash flow statement. If you are lucky enough, you will get this question tomorrow, right? Based on the analysis of past papers. If not, also we are not going to worry, because both problems are there, both are format based. In one question, they might not give adjustments. In other question, they might give adjustments, right? You need not worry, right? We'll see a question and how to approach the problem we'll analyze. Look at this. The following are the comparative balance sheets of XYZ as on 31st December 2018 and 2019. He's saying it as comparative because he has given figures for both previous year and current year side by side, right? So let's look at the balance sheet first. Look at the share capital. On the liability side, you have share capital. 3,50,000 is the previous year balance. 3,70,000 is the current year balance. What is happening here? The balance has increased by 20,000. 20,000 has increased. Why? Because we have issued new equity shares. They will not say anywhere that you have issued equity shares. You need to get it by looking at the difference between current year and previous year items. So if the balance is increasing, you need to think, why is the balance increasing? And if you look at the item, it is share capital. So share capital will increase whenever we are issuing new shares. So issuing shares is a financing activity. So you got to know now that, okay, 20,000 has increased. We issued new shares, so we'll receive 20,000 cash. It is an inflow. And issue of equity shares, as I've mentioned, is a financing activity. What is a financing activity? Financing activities are the funding activities. How do you raise money for your business? Right? You may issue equity shares, you may issue debentures, or you go to a bank and borrow money, right? And then this is one important item. Okay, you need to locate profit and loss account. If it is not mentioned separately here, it might be in the reserves. Profit and loss is the difference. Okay, current year profit is the difference between the opening balance and the closing balance, right? If you see what is the current year profit here, and you'll start with this current year profit. As I was mentioning in the previous slide, you have to start with the net profit, right? Okay, and you will be not given directly what is the net profit in some questions. So you need to analyze, right? Looking at the profit and loss, what is the difference between the current year and previous year items, right? So you can see 50 to 800 is the current year balance and previous year balance is 50,400. You can understand that 2,400 is the current year profit. If P&L account is not given separately, it will be mostly lying in the reserves. right? So companies usually write the profit balance in the reserves and surplus. So they will be mentioning, without giving the profit and loss separately, they might give you reserves as well. 9% debentures, balance is 60/30. Balance is decreasing. Debenture balance is decreasing means we have redeemed debentures, we have paid their amount. So it is a cash outflow. It will be coming in the financing activity. Okay, raising money through debentures is a financing activity. Then redemption is also a financing activity, right? So here you will write as outflow 30,000 in the financing activities. Creditors is part of current liabilities. It is part of working capital. So this will be taken care in the calculation of cash flow from operating activities. As I was mentioning here, decrease or increase in the current liabilities. Okay, you have to account for that. So here, what is happening here? 51 is the previous year balance and current year balance is 59,200. The balance has increased. Increase in current liability is a cash inflow. We will write it in the operating activities. Okay, as addition, we will write it as an inflow. Come to the asset side. Land is given, it is a fixed asset, right? Fixed asset balance is increasing. So it means that, okay, you might have purchased more land or some additional information will be given. What is the reason? If you look at the question, additional information mentions that land was revalued during the year at 1,50,000 at, he says, okay. This is the new value they are assigning. And that increase, whatever is increased, we call it as profit on revaluation, 50,000 is transferred to P&L. So it is a non-operating income. So we have to minus that, right? And other assets are also given, like goodwill, balance is decreasing. It will be considered as amortization. As I was mentioning, you need to add the amortization to the net profit here. So that you need to consider that. Then cash and bank is outside the three activities. So we will not consider. Temporary investments are also considered as part of cash and cash equivalent. So we will not consider this under the investing activities. Debtors is part of current assets. Again, balance if it is okay, it is increasing actually. So it means cash outflow. The solution has been given here. Okay, we start with the net profit, the difference between the previous year and the current year balance, 2,400. And what did I say? We need to add items like depreciation, amortization, any dividends paid. Okay, all these items. If you see dividend question, in the question it has been mentioned that dividend declared and paid during the year is 17,500, right? So we will add that 17,500. Goodwill written off, the difference was 25,000. We'll add it. Profit on revaluation of land, that 50,000 whatever was increased was credited to profit and loss. So we will minus that. We'll get the total as this total. It is 7,500. When you add this to, you will get operating loss before working capital changes. Now this is the main area, right? You need to understand that other current asset is increasing, it is outflow. Current asset is decreasing, it is inflow. Current liability is increasing, inflow. Current liability is decreasing, outflow. So please memorize this. You will definitely get a, you might get a short question as well asking you to calculate cash flow from operating activities. So main focus can be on this, will be on this, right? They will give you items of current assets and current liabilities. They may ask you to calculate what is the cash generated from operations or cash flow from operating activities, right? So the creditors are increasing. Creditors are current liabilities. That's why we are adding it. Okay. So positive amount means we are adding it. Decrease in stock. Current asset is decreasing. It is inflow. Added. Increasing debtors. Debtors is a current asset. It is increasing. It is outflow. So we have minused it. You'll get a total of 21,500 net cash from operating activities. Similarly, you'll be also writing the investing and financing activities. Right. So we are only going through the problem, okay, in a superficial way. What should be the important focus while you look at the problem? Detailed explanation, okay, is already provided in the CR app, as I've previously mentioned. Okay. So for detailed explanation, detailed solution, why the particular item is coming here, okay, go to the CR app and view the lecture there. Okay, or you can refer to the last minute revision notes as well. Right. So in this, I'm going to give you a very quick revision. What are the important areas when you are looking at a problem? Which areas you need to focus? As I was mentioning, okay, what about the profit and loss? Okay, you'll not be given net profit directly. So you need to identify profit and loss in the liabilities. The difference between closing and previous year balance is, I mean, closing and the opening balance is the net profit for the current year. Right. In this question, there is no investing activities. If at all, if there are investing activities, you will be having like proceeds from sale of any fixed assets, proceeds from sale of investments, or interest received, dividend received, rent received. These are the inflows in the investing activities. When it comes to outflows, okay, when you are purchasing any fixed asset, when you are purchasing any investments, okay, these will be outflows, right? Now come to financing activities. Okay, as I was mentioning, we have two items. Okay, share capital and debentures. So those two are okay considered here. We have issued new shares, so 20,000 is inflow positive. We have redeemed the debentures, so it is outflow. We have mentioned it in minus. We have taken all the three activities total to get net decrease in the cash and cash equivalents. Okay, we'll add the cash flow from investing activities, operating activities, and financing activities to get this. We'll add back the opening balance of the cash and cash equivalents. If you see, question, as I was mentioning, temporary investments are also considered part of the cash and cash equivalents, which are nothing but marketable securities. So both cash balance as well as temporary investment balance we need to consider while adding the cash and cash equivalents. Okay. So here, if you see, the opening balance is coming as 45,000, closing balance is coming as 39,000. Right? So that is what we are going to see here. Opening balance is 45,000 and you will add this to the net decrease, you'll get 39,000. And this balance should match with the closing balance given in the question. So here you have been given two items. So in most problems, they might not give you temporary investments. You need to look at the cash and bank balance, right? So you need to match it with the closing balance in the balance sheet. So here, if you observe it, it is matching. Okay, 39,000 was the closing balance. Yes. So I understand, okay, I might be very fast because in the limited time, okay, I am trying to give you maximum information, right? For detailed information, for detailed slow procedure, okay, visit SIA app. That is my suggestion. Here in the limited time, I'm trying to do the best, okay, I'm trying to give you maximum information. I might be a little fast, okay, but I'll try to pace down. But you need not dishearten. Visit SIA app. Every problem has been covered in great detail there, right? You can pause, you can watch it in a slower pace, right? And also detailed logics are explained in that problem. Now we'll move on to unit 4. Again, this is one more major area you can score well. Full marks, Raj. Okay, why I'm focusing on unit 4 and unit 5 maximum is it is format based. Any student can solve. You need not put lot of you need not memorize the formulas like unlike in ratio analysis. Your formulas of material variances, labor variances, your formulas in break-even analysis. So here topics are less. Unit 4 it is format based, unit 5 format based. In these two also, unit 4 and unit 5. Unit 5 you have one single format. In unit 4 you have three formats. Okay, you have to, whenever there is a question on this, you will have to prepare statement of changes in working capital. Very easy to score marks. Okay, if a question is for 12 marks and if you are able to prepare the statement of changes in working capital, you're getting 4 marks there right away. Then you will calculate funds from operations. There are two ways. Either you calculate in a, okay, what you say, vertical format, or you go ahead with the adjusted profit and loss method, adjusted P&L method, or you go ahead with the, okay, vertical calculation. What do you mean by vertical calculation? As we have seen in the operating activities, we are adding back certain items like dividend, depreciation and amortization. Okay, there we are calling it as non-cash, non-operating items. Here we call them as non-fund items. So we will adjust the non-fund items. What are non-fund items? Which are similar to the non-cash and non-operating items we discussed in the cash flow statement. And then we'll prepare the actual funds flow statement. So you can consider that each of these statements will give you 4 marks. So give you 12 marks, right? Purely format based, we'll see a question now. And okay, when it comes to question number 12 and 12b, as the funds flow questions come in these two questions, mostly both will be problems only. There is a very less chance of getting a theory question in this. So please understand that unit 4 and unit 5 is purely problematic. Okay, you will be getting practical questions only, right? Advantages, it is you need not memorize a lot of topics, unlike in other units. Like unit 2, you have budgetary control as well as standard costing. In standard costing also you have lot of variance analysis. That is not the problem. That's why I'm not suggesting you to start with those areas. Go with unit 4, go with unit 5, get maximum marks from this. Okay, when you are preparing also, please rewrite the formats, solve 1 2 problems looking at the solution which we have given in the CR app, solve it, okay, and then see the confidence you will gain, right? We'll see a problem. As I was mentioning, both will be problems only. There is very less chance of getting a theory question in this chapter. So look at the question here. Okay, the following are the balance sheets of B Limited as on 2018 and 2019. For both years they have given. They are giving you the information of net profit, depreciation, and the cash dividend declared during the year, right? What are they asking? Okay, if you see, this is no question here. Okay, but by looking at the question number 12b, 12a and 12b, okay, you need to understand that the question is coming from unit 4. So they are asking you to prepare a funds flow statement, right? And they have given the balance sheet. Equity share capital is given, reserves, depreciation fund, this is a new item in this, and then debentures, creditors are given. Observe, P&L is not given separately. It means that it is lying in the reserves. And on the asset side, you have fixed assets, inventories, debtors, prepaid expenses, and bank. Right? Now, how to start the problem? You will be preparing a statement of changes in working capital, which is very easy. Okay, as I was mentioning, you will prepare these 3 statements: statement of changes in working capital, then you will go with the calculation of funds from operations, and then funds flow statement, where we'll write sources of funds and application of funds. Right. So this is the schedule of changes in working capital, or we can call it a statement of changes in working capital. Working capital, you need to know that it is nothing but current assets minus current liabilities. Very simple formula. So you need to identify all the current assets and current liabilities in the balance sheet. Right? You can see inventory is a current asset, debtors is a current asset, prepaid expense is a current asset, bank is a current asset. All these 4 are current assets. Okay. So in the schedule of changes in working capital, first you'll write all the current assets first. Inventory, debtors, prepaid expenses, bank. Write the previous year balances. All previous year balances you write, right? And then write the current year balances. First you'll write the previous year balances, then you'll write the current year balances. Then what to do? Look at the formula. What is the working capital formula says? It is current assets minus current liabilities. Now when current assets balance increase, what will happen to the working capital? It will increase. For example, working capital, okay, our example, let's suppose 60,000 are the current assets, okay, some 40,000 is current liabilities. You'll get an answer of 20,000 as working capital. What if I increase this 60,000 to 1,60,000? Your answer will now change to 1,20,000. So current asset, whenever it is increasing, working capital will increase. So that is what I was saying. Right. Right. Similarly, when current assets are decreasing, what will happen? Working capital will decrease. Now, exactly opposite rules will apply for current liabilities. Opposite rules. Current liability, if it is increasing, working capital will decrease. When current liability is decreasing, working capital will increase. It is based on this formula. Right. Now, observe. I'll explain for two items. You will get the idea. Inventory is there. Last year balance is 93,400. Current year balance is 89,200. What is happening? The balance is decreasing. The balance has decreased from 93,000 to 89,000. So whenever there is a decrease in current asset balance, it means working capital is also decreasing. So you will go and write it in the decrease column here. What is the difference? 4,200. You'll write it in the decrease column. Right. Similarly, debtors balance is also decreasing. 30,000 was the previous year balance. Current year balance is 21,100. The difference will be written in the decrease column. So you will do the same procedure for prepaid expenses and bank. You will take the total of the current assets. Okay. You will take the total of current assets for both the years. Now you will write the current liabilities, because in the formula working capital, it is current assets minus current liabilities. So we are listing out the current liabilities as well. If you see, there's only one current liability in the question, which is creditors. So write the previous year and current year balances as it is in the question, in the format. So creditors, previous year balance is 28, current year is 48. The difference is 20,000. What is happening? Current liability is increasing. From 28, the balance has increased to 48. It means, okay, working capital will decrease. Current liabilities, as and when they are increasing, the working capital will decrease. So we are writing in the decrease column. There can be some cases where, okay, in this particular problem, all the balances are decreasing in the current assets. Okay, that's why we have to write in the decrease. In some problems, okay, as you may see in tomorrow's exam, you might see that some balances of some current assets might be increasing. So whenever current asset is increasing, you'll write it in the increase column. Right. Now you will take the total of the current liabilities as well. In the next line, okay, we call the current assets as A, we call the current liabilities as B. Now in the working capital calculation, in the next line, you will be minusing the B total from the A total. Okay, it is here. So 1,56,250 minus 28 will give you 1,28,250. Same calculation for the current year. Right? Now, observe. Focus on the first two columns. Focus only on the first two columns. We'll not talk about the last two columns now. I'm okay. You're all commerce students. You know how to balance the ledger accounts, right? You write the highest total on both sides. The highest total is this. So you'll write the highest total in both current year and previous year. And we know that in the current year, the balance is only 85,300, not 128. So in order to make it equal, we'll write the difference here. So you know that the working capital has decreased from 1,28,250 to 85,300. That's why we'll mention that this is a decrease in the working capital from previous year to the current year. So we'll mention that 42,950, the difference between the current year working capital and the previous year working capital here. Now this is done. We'll mention this difference, okay, as a balancing figure in the third column as well. You see the fourth column total, all items are falling in the fourth column only. You take the total of that. There was nothing in the debit side. If there was any debit side total, okay, you'll write the highest total on both sides. And then you'll write the difference of that, both the columns. In this particular question, there is no item on the third column increase. That's why whatever is the total of the decrease column is coming as a total in the the balance in the increase column. Right? Very simple to score. మీరు ఒక ప్రాబ్లం చేస్తే when you solve a problem on your own, okay, looking at the question, you'll understand how simple it is. Okay, you need not take this much time. You're not explaining anyone there. You have your calculators, calculate the difference and write it in the format. Now, important area here is calculation of funds from operation. As I was mentioning, we will be going as per adjusted profit and loss method. It is very simple. Okay, adjusted profit and loss method. Observe here, it is here. Through this, we'll find out the funds from operations. How to do this? Simply write the opening and closing balances, right? If you see the question, you don't have the profit and loss, so that will be lying in the reserve. Write the opening and closing balances. This is the opening balance, this is the closing balance. Now, what you need to adjust? We need to adjust the non-fund items like depreciation, items like what you say, the dividend, items like loss on sale of fixed assets or gain on sale of fixed assets. In this question, you'll only have, okay, in the question also it is mentioned that the cash dividend paid during the year is 12,000. So add back that 12,000 here. We'll write the dividends, we'll pay the dividends, okay, by debiting the profit and loss, right? So we'll debit it. So ఎక్కడ ఉన్నది అక్కడ రాస్తున్నాము to get the difference, which is purely arising from the operations. And that, as I was mentioning in the question, okay, depreciation fund is a new item here. Observe what is peculiar in that. Depreciation fund balance usually should increase, but it is decreasing. 60,000, say it has become 40,000. This is strange, right? And if you observe the fixed assets, okay, the balance is increasing. Okay, but question says depreciation charged is 10,000. So what is exactly happening? Okay, so observe the, okay, depreciation fund account there. Opening and closing balances are written, right? 40,000 is the closing balance. Okay, balance carried down, and opening balance is 60,000. Question mentions that fixed depreciation charged is 10,000. So fixed asset account will be credited with 10,000 and debit is given to depreciation fund account. So 10,000 has come here. So what has happened to the remaining 10? We are reversing the depreciation. We have credited it to the P&L account. Instead of debiting P&L account, we are crediting the P&L account because the depreciation charged during the year has been debited to depreciation fund account, not the P&L. Right? That's why the balance is decreasing there. So that will give you the funds from operation. This is second calculation, right? And then finally, you have the third statement to be prepared, funds flow statement. Funds flow statement will identify what are the sources and applications of fund. Though it is calling as fund, you can think that it is cash. You can think from the angle of cash, if the cash is coming in or cash is going out. In the question, you'll observe equity capital is increasing from 1 lakh to 1,60,000. So 60,000 cash has come in, so that has become a source. The source means inflows. Application means outflows. Cash is going out. Payments are all applications. If the cash is coming in, we are receiving the cash. It is inflows. It is sources. So you see, equity shares have come in. 60,000 decrease in working capital. 42,950. Right. Funds from operations 17,050. Right. You will see funds from operations. If the amount is positive, it should be taken as a source. If the funds from operations has come as negative, we call it as funds lost in operations. We'll write it on the application side, right? So decrease in working capital here is the balancing figure. So we'll write all the other items and then we'll find out the balancing figure as decrease in working capital. So applications, you see, debentures is decreasing 50,000. So we are paying. Purchase of fixed assets 58,000. You'll see the fixed assets account here. As I was mentioning, opening balance is 152, closing balance is 2 lakhs, and there's depreciation as well. So depreciation will be credited to fixed assets, right? The balancing figure will give you what is the purchase of fixed assets. That is what has been mentioned here, 58,000. And we have paid dividend 12,000. Cash is going out. So all those applications and sources are mentioned. The balancing figure. If the balancing figure comes on the debit side, it is decrease in working capital. One small check, this item, this amount should match with the decrease you calculated in the schedule of changes in working capital. So you see, decrease ఎంత వచ్చింది మనకి 42,950. It is 42,950. This amount should exactly match with the balancing figure here. Then you are confident that you solve the problem correctly, right? With these three statements, you are getting, okay, full on full 12 marks. If I was in your place, I have a choice between theory or a problem. And if I'm good with the problems, I'll definitely go with the problems because I have very good chance of scoring full on full marks by solving a problem. Even though I had good knowledge about the theory, okay, I would definitely proceed to solve problems, because solving problems will give you full on full marks. So try maximum. Okay, if you are not confident, also please mention the formulas. If you are not knowing, okay, because if the question in the funds from operations, you don't have a theory question to attempt. So write the formats. Be good with the formats. Okay, with whatever explanation I'm giving. Okay, so you can understand that what is the procedure, how we need to solve. First, we'll prepare the statement of working capital changes. Then we'll go with the funds from operations calculation, and then we'll go with the funds flow statement. Right? If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Okay, I'll answer you right now. Right. Second, it will be on trend analysis. Third, question number 11B, as I was mentioning, is from ratio analysis. Mostly a problem only. Sometimes 11A can give you a theory question. Right? Theory question can be like asking you to, just a minute. Right. Looks like there was some audio issue. Okay. I was saying that when it comes to unit 3, okay, question number 11A and 11B is fixed for unit 3, techniques for financial statement analysis. Question number 11B is fixed. Okay, as we see the past papers pattern, question 11B is coming from ratio analysis, and purely it is problem only. Very rarely, very rarely you'll see a theory question on ratio analysis part. Right? So 11A and 11B are the two questions. 11B is fixed for ratio analysis. It is a problem mostly. Straight away information will be given. If you're good with the formulas, identify the information, put it in the formulas, get the answers. Okay, as simple as that. If not, okay, sir, I'm not good with the formulas. I cannot memorize these 20 plus formulas in single day now. Then, okay, you need not dishearten yourself. There are other areas you need to focus. If you get a question based on comparative balance sheet, then you are very lucky, very simple to solve, right? And also trend analysis is not that difficult. It is also very simple. We'll see a problem based on all these three topics now, right? Now, for those who are not good with the problems, okay, can we get a theory question? Yes. Here you have a chance that you will get a theory question. What kind of questions? Okay, explain various different types of financial statement analysis techniques, or they may ask you how to prepare, okay, a comparative balance sheet or common size balance sheet or profit and loss, right? But the scope is very less. Okay, if you see the past papers, this was the question that has been asked. What are the different types of financial statement analysis techniques? They need to mention. You have mainly 4 to 5 techniques. What are they? Comparative analysis, common size analysis, trend analysis, funds flow analysis, cash flow analysis. What are your chapter names? Are all your techniques of financial statement analysis itself, right? So, as I was mentioning, that is the probability. One theory, one problem, 50-50 chances are there. Both problems are 50-50 chances. We can't say what is, okay, perfect way that, okay, what is our clear expectation. For sure, I can say 11B is a problem only. That too also coming from ratio analysis, right? If you're lucky enough, you'll be getting a question tomorrow based on comparative balance sheet, and we'll see a question how simple it is to solve, right? Look at this question. From the following information, prepare comparative balance sheet and comment. When he says comment, he's asking you to give you the interpretation. What is the result of your analysis, right? First, we'll try to understand what is comparative balance sheet, how to prepare. Now, one thing you need to note here is when you are preparing a comparative balance sheet or a comparative profit and loss, you need to present your answer in the Schedule 3 format of Companies Act. What is Schedule 3? Right? You'll be having equity and liabilities under that shareholders' funds, share capital, reserves, and surplus. So this is the format. This format has been given in our LMR notes, okay, on the SIA app, right? So I could not repeat again and again, but you need to understand all the formulas, all the formats, all the important questions, along with solutions, okay, whether it be theory or problems. It has been clearly given in our app, okay, and detailed explanation videos are also given free of cost there, right? So once you are in the app, okay, once you are making the purchase of CCMA, even the videos are also provided, a full-length detailed solution with all the logics have been explained. Look at this question. Okay, we have been given share capital, reserves, bills payable, creditors, debentures, long-term loan on the liability side. Question is not given to you in the Schedule 3 format. So when you are solving, you need to present the items in the Schedule 3 only, Schedule 3 format only. And even on the asset side, you will be given, okay, various current and non-current assets. Okay, bill, receivable, cash, data, stock. These are all current assets for us. Building, furniture, machinery, fixed assets, and then again bank is a current asset, right? Here is the format. You need to, okay, this has come into 2 pages, okay, but you need to prepare it in a continuous form. There are how many columns here? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. Okay, I would suggest you need not even prepare the note number. You go with the particulars, previous year amounts, current year amounts, what is the absolute change and what is the percentage change. If it is a comparative profit and loss, also the format is same. Okay, you'll write the previous year figures here. Let's suppose some, okay, 1 lakh is the previous year amount for some, let's suppose share capital, right? If the current year amount is, let's suppose, some 125, how to calculate the absolute change? Please remember this formula, current year minus previous year. Whenever I'm talking the increase or decrease, it is We will start with the current year and compare it with the previous year. So current year minus previous year, you see the amount is 25,000. 1 lakh 25 minus 110, 1 lakh is 25,000. So this is in absolute terms, okay, rupees terms. What about the percentage increase? You also want to look at the percentage increase. So whatever is the difference amount you got here, current year minus previous year, should be divided with the previous year amount and multiplied with 100. So the difference amount 25,000 should be divided with 1 lakh. So what will be that? 25,000 divided by 1 lakh into 100 will give you 25%. So that percentage will mention here. You need not show any working notes. You can directly start calculating. You have the calculators with you. 1 lakh 25 minus 1 lakh calculator will be 20. You'll get 25,000. Then divide that 25,000, okay, with 1 lakh and multiply it with 100. You will get 25%. You need not do any manual calculations. I have explained you how to, what is the procedure, what is the logic there. Use the maximum calculators. You need not struggle with your brain calculations, right? So that is how a individual item is written. Okay, now let's look at the solution. As I was mentioning, you need to solve the problem in the Schedule 3 format. You have been given items like share capital, reserves. Okay, share capital will go in the share capital directly, reserves will go in reserves and surplus, right? So that will be coming under shareholders funds. So write accordingly. You write the previous year amounts first. Okay, please remember this. Previous year amount should be written first, current year amount should be written next. But while calculating the difference, current year minus previous year, what we have to do, right? Share capital 1 lakh 50 and 1 lakh 50. Question whatever is given in the question, right, as it is, right? The amounts previous year are given first, current year are given next. If you see, there is no difference. Last year also it is 1 lakh 50, current year also it is 1 lakh 50. There is no difference, so zero. There is no percentage increase. But when it comes to reserves and surplus, last year balance is 4,000, current year balance is 5,000. 5,000 minus 4,000 is 1,000. 1,000 divided by 4,000 into 100 will give you 25%. Right? So it will change the 25%. 1,000 divided by 4,000 into 100. Many students make a mistake of choosing the current year amount in the denominator. That is a mistake. You should not take that. Okay, for calculation of percentages, denominator should always be previous year only, right? So in that way, we'll substitute all the items. Debentures is there, long-term borrowings, long-term loan is also part of long-term borrowings. So both of them will be clubbed in the one single head, long-term borrowings. Okay, that's why they have given the note there, or you can show it in the brackets here as well. Okay, if you go to the note number 1, you'll see both of them have been added there, right? So it has not been mentioned here, but fine. Okay, there might be some mistake. Both debentures and long-term loan is part of long-term borrowings. So you can see the total there, right? 4 plus 53 is 57. So that's why they have mentioned 57 here. Okay. Similarly, current year 52 and 0, 52,000. So that is the current year. Same calculation, 52 minus 57. This time the current year balance is less. That's why you're getting the answer in minus 5,000. Minus 5,000 divided by 57,000. Do it in your calculator. You'll get minus 8.77%. So that's this. Okay. If you are getting a comparative balance sheet, don't lose it. Okay. Solve it. Okay. Even more than ratio analysis, please go with the comparative balance sheet. It is easy to calculate. Right. So you'll put it in the Schedule 3 format. It's just that you need to go be good with the Schedule 3 format. That's why I'm saying, okay, please refer the notes that is given in the SIA app, right? All the formats, all the formulas are given there, right? So don't miss out on that. So if you want good marks, please, okay, my request, be good with the formats, be good with the formulas. This paper is full of calculations, full of problems. Very rarely you'll see theory, right? You have fixed unit 1 and Shimanaku question number 9A is fixed for unit theory, right? That is coming from management accounting. Rest all we can't say, right? There will be problems, right? And my suggestion is go with the problems only to get good marks, right? In order to solve problems, be good with the formats, be good with the formulas. And that is what I'm trying to help you out in this. It is all format based. Okay, simply put the amounts in the format and get the solution, right? So you are substituting all the items given in the question in the schedule 3 format. Your calculation is mainly in these two areas, last two columns. You need to calculate absolute change, you need to calculate percentage change. That's the solution. Now, question also asked you to comment. Okay, so when I'm saying, okay, when the question is asking you to comment, it means it is asking you for your interpretation. What did you observe by doing this calculation? So you see, okay, you see for the numbers which are big, okay, where there is a big change, what is happening to the, okay, overall fixed assets, what is happening to the debt. If you see debentures, the borrowings are decreasing, so it is a good sign for the business. So it is repaying their debt. So you can mention that the company has seen 8.77% decrease in the borrowings, which is a good indication for the business, right? And also observe the what you say, you have fixed assets. Okay, there is good amount of increase, right? Say that increase in fixed assets is usually understood as expansion of the business, right? Whenever we are spending for fixed assets, it is an indication that our business is being expanded. It is a good indication. Come to cash balance. If you see cash balance is decreasing, it is not a good indication. Okay, so accordingly, you need to frame your interpretations. What is happening item wise? N interpretations, Rahul. How many interpretations should I write? Okay, 4 to 5 points you can mention. Those points have been mentioned here as well. Okay, so there is a decrease in long-term borrowings, trade payables, right? There is a decrease in inventory by over 6.60%. Okay, this is a major observation, right? So these items you will write. We look at a problem based on ratio analysis. Simply, if you know the formulas, information will be given to you in the question. Okay, mostly direct, sometimes indirect. You need to have one or two more formulas to get the information required. Look at this question. Okay, from the following details, compute return on capital employed, return on total assets, and return on equity shareholders funds. Right? What are the formulas for this? Return on capital employed is net profit after tax plus interest. We'll add back the interest and divide it with the capital employed and multiply it with 100. Formula, right? Return on total assets. Return means what is your profit, right? Here, net profit after tax, divide it with the total assets and multiply it with 100. And then return on equity shareholders funds. Earnings available to equity shareholders divided by equity shareholders funds into 100. Now, how to calculate equity shareholders funds? I mean, the equity earnings available to equity shareholders. It is net profit after tax minus whatever preference dividend we have to pay. That if you minus, you'll get earnings available to equity shareholders. So this information is presented to you. You simply have to identify and put it in the formula, right? What information is given to you? Net worth, shareholders equity is given 7,50,000, right? Preference share capital 2 lakhs. Preference share dividend I was talking about. We need to deduct preference dividend from the net profit. It is 16,000 here. Capital employed figure is given. We need it in the first formula in the denominator, right? Intangible assets and then total assets. Net profit after tax. Net profit after tax is what we need in all the formulas. So this is an important information here. And then interest. We need this interest information in calculating the return on capital employed. We'll add it to the net profit after tax in the numerator. So it's simply substituting the information in the formulas here, right? Return on capital employed, how is it calculated? You need to write the formula first and then substitute the amounts to get the answer. Net profit after tax is given 1,50,000. Put it in the formula. Interest is given 23,500. Put it in the numerator. Capital employed is also given 11 lakhs. Put it in the formula in the denominator. Multiply it with 100. Use your calculator. You get the answer 15.77. Same is with the other formulas as well. You have net profit after tax information. You have total assets information. Intangible assets information is not useful here. They might be giving additional information. Let it be. What is required is this. So Vartiki, you need not have the information of intangible assets. So substitute and get the answers. That's it. Okay. So the advantage with ratio analysis is, though the formulas are more, okay, if you're good with the formulas, sir, I can remember the formulas, I can write all the formulas. If I'm getting full on full 12 marks here, I'll make an effort, I'll try to memorize the formulas, then go ahead. All right. Simple. Okay. Formula or stay. If you're good with the formula, okay, write the formula, substitute the information that is given in the question, get the answers. Right. So in the simple way, you can score 12 on 12 here. Right. One last topic is left in this, trend analysis. Right. In the last past year, okay, 2023, you got a question here for 12 months. How simple it is, observe. Okay. Calculate the trend percentages from the following figures of X Limited, taking 2014 as the base and interpret them. Whatever is the earlier year, okay, oldest year will be the base. He has given all the information for all the 5 years, okay, for sales, stock, and profit before tax. You simply need to calculate the trend percentages for sales, trend percentages for stock, and trend percentages for profit before tax, which is given in the solution here. Observe. Whatever is the information given, okay, you will write amount for that, and this is the area you have to calculate. So your calculation is here. Rest all information is given in the question. Here also stock trend percentages you need to calculate. Profit before tax trend percentages you need to calculate. For calculating this simple thing, they are giving you 12 marks. How to calculate? Observe. 2014, they have asked you to take the base year. For the base year, trend percentage will always be 100. Okay. We'll focus on the sales part, and the same calculations apply to stock as well as profit before tax. Now focus. For 2015, how to get this 124 figure? What is the formula? The difference between 2015 figure minus 2014 figure and divide it with the 2014 figure. Right? And multiply it with 100, you'll get the percentage. So 2015 figure is 2340 minus 1881 will give you, okay, okay. So these are the amounts, 2340 minus 1881, divide it with 1881 and multiply it with 100, you will get the same amount, 124. Right? Calculate it, you will find it. Take your calculators, 2340 minus 1881 will give you 459 in the numerator. Divide it with 1881 into 100, you'll see 24.40. Okay. So you are getting 24.4, right? You add it, you are expressing this as an index. So add 100 to it, you'll get the answer, 124. Right? Simple. Again, same thing, 2655 minus 1881. Always the difference should be taken from the base year and the percentage should be calculated from the base year only. Right? So how to get this? 2655 minus 1881. Okay, divided by 1881 again. Okay, you'll get 0.41. Okay, into 100 got 20, you'll get 41.1. Add 100 to it, you'll get 141. So adding 100 is what we have to do here, because this is expressed in terms of index. Okay, we are seeing what is the change that is happening. If the base year was 100, what is the amount that has increased by the next year? It is 24 rupees. Then from the base year, from 100, when in coming to 2016, it has become 141. Same logic for the, okay, 2017 and 18 as well. So if you have understood this calculation, you will do the same calculations for the stock trend percentages as well as profit before tax percentages, right? So only once it was asked in the exam, okay, past papers, if you analyze, if you see, question 11A is being usually asked with a theory question or a comparative balance sheet or P&L question. Question 11B is fixed for ratio analysis. If you have any doubts, okay, please let me know. I'll try to answer it right away. So yes, okay. I think okay, audio issues are there. We are on live because of some internet issues. That can be the reason. Please also check your internet connection. Right. One student has messaged the formula is wrong. Okay, it is not wrong, ma. Okay, I'm looking at the percentage increase, and we'll add 100 to it. Okay, we'll express it as an index. So you need to calculate the difference between the year you are calculating the percentage change for. In this case, I have taken 2015. So in 2017, if I am calculating, you will take the 2017 figure, you will minus it with the base year. Okay, base year is 1881. Always this 1881 and in the denominator and here it will be always constant. This will give you the percentage increase. You please add it to 100. That will be expressed as the trend percentage, right? So adding 100 is what you need to do here. That's it, right? Right. We'll go on to the unit 2, right? So question number 10A and 10B, okay, is given for unit 2. Fix it. It is for unit 2, budgetary control and standard costing. 11A question comes from budgetary control, and 11B, I mean 10B comes for, okay, comes from standard costing. Theory questions can come, problems can come, chances are, okay, equal. But if you see one theory, one problem, more chances 70-30, one theory and one problem. Both problems, equal chances 50-50, right? But you'll be assured that 11 and 10A comes for, okay, comes from budgetary control, and 10B comes from standard costing, right? Now in standard costing, if a question comes, okay, if at all a theory is coming, okay, you will be able to answer it, right? A problem is coming means it will be either based on material variances and it will be based on labor variances. So these two are the key areas. Okay, if you're good with the formulas, here some 5 formulas are there. Here some 5 formulas are there. If you're good with these formulas, you can get marks easily like this. Okay, you will not feel, you don't even feel that it is a 12 marker question, right? So that easy it will be. The formulas have been listed in the SIA app notes. Last minute revision notes is available on the SIA app. Okay, please go and check the document there, right? We'll also be providing a formula list of formulas of all the ratios and all the material variances. Okay, our technical team is working on that. It will be provided, okay, very soon in the description box. Now, when it comes to budgetary control, you expect there are equal chances of getting a problem or a theory question. So those students who feel that okay, problems are not my cup of tea, okay, you please get relief, okay, because you can get a theory question from the budgetary control area. So one time it is asked as theory one, it is once it is asked as a problem. So there is a, okay, mix and match of this. Most probably you'll get a problem from the standard costing, right? So that too based on material variance or labor variance, right? In this video, now we will see if at all a question comes based on a problem, okay, how to approach it. Theory, you guys can do it, okay. Whenever a theory question comes up, a small tip is done, okay, I'll give you a small tip. Whenever a theory question is coming, okay, when you're receiving the question paper, for example, okay, in a part A, they asked you what is management accounting or advantages of management accounting. If they asked, you please try to write some 4 to 5 points on the question paper with the pencil so that you don't forget it, right? So advantages, okay, it helps in decision making, right? Non-financial information is also considered, so employees loyalty, all this is also taken care of. So these type of points you quickly write down, and then okay, once you start writing it, okay, you can simply expand those points in your answer. Similarly, when it is about the problems, okay, and especially if it is problem based on some formulas like we get in unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3, write down the formulas very quickly. If you observe while solving the ratio analysis also, the moment they were asking the formulas, I mean, what asking the return on capital employed, return on total assets, I've immediately write the formulas there. so that I don't forget. Similarly, you have to do the same thing. The moment you are looking at a problem which is asked based on a formula, write down the formula on the question paper, not a problem. Or if you are getting the answer sheet immediately, write the formulas on the back page, mentioning it as rough work, so that you don't forget it, right? In the exam tension, in the time of in the hustle of managing time, you might forget things, so that should not happen in the middle of the exam. So that's why I'm saying, write down the formulas, write down important points what you want to write in the exam, on the question paper or at the back side of your answer sheet, and then start your question, start your exam, right? We'll look at the problems here. In this, we'll see problems based on flexible budget as well as material and labor variances. So first part, question number 10A is for flexible budget, right? Look at this question. The following information relates to a flexible budget at 60% capacity. 60% capacity means a machine, let's suppose, is at operating at 100% capacity. A machine can produce some 100 units, but they are operating only at 60% capacity. They are only producing some 60 units, not 100 units, because maybe because of the demand, they are only producing the 60 units, not the 100 units, despite having the capacity. Find out the overhead costs at 50% and 70% capacity, and also determine the overhead rates. So whatever information given to you is all for 60% capacity. Please note that variable costs only will vary, okay, with different capacities. Capacity is nothing but a level of production, 60% level of production, 50% level of production. So variable cost will increase as in when you increase the production. It will vary. Andake then variable cost enough. It will vary with the level of activity. It will change. Whereas fixed cost will not change, will not vary with the level of activity. For example, you are producing goods in a rented factory. You need to pay rent, right, for that. Whether you produce some 1,000 units, whether you produce only 500 units, or you don't do any production, you still have to pay the rent. That's why fixed cost will not change. It is not affected with the level of activity. Whereas variable cost is directly proportional with the level of activity. If your level of activity is increasing, your variable cost will increase. If your level of activity is decreasing, you're producing less, your variable cost also will be less. Now, in your given information, you will be seeing variable costs, semi-variable costs, and fixed costs, right? Semi-variable costs, as highlighted here, is a mix of both variable cost as well as fixed cost. You'll see variable cost and fixed cost. So that proportion they will mention, Let's look at the question first formally. They are giving you the variable overheads, indirect labor and indirect material are variable overheads. At 60% capacity is 10,500 and 8,400. When it comes to semi-variable overheads, you see repairs and maintenance and electricity charges, in which some portion is variable, some portion is fixed. 70% is fixed in the repairs and maintenance. That means 30% is variable. They need not mention this as well, but in this question they have given it. In the electricity, 50% is fixed, remaining 50% is variable. Now, why this breakup is given? Because of this reason. Irrespective of the level of activity, fixed costs will not change. The fixed portion in this electricity will not change whether you are at the 50% capacity, 60% capacity, or the 70% capacity. So it will remain same. Lastly, they have given fixed overheads, office expenses, including salaries, insurance, depreciation, all these are given. Estimated direct labor hours is given so that you can calculate the overhead rate. So whatever the total overheads cost you are getting, you will divide it with the estimated direct labor hours to get the overhead rate. Look at the solution. This is how you need to prepare the flexible budget, right? They have neatly categorized what are the variable overheads. They have categorized what are the semi-variable overheads. They have categorized what are the fixed overheads, right? At various levels, 50%, 60%, and 70%. 60% information is given to you in the question. Directly it is given. You simply need to reproduce what it is, right? What is the indirect material? What is indirect labor? Okay, all this is given for the 60% capacity, right? You need to focus, okay, here a little bit. Semi-variable costs, they have calculated what is the fixed portion and what is the variable portion. For example, 60%, if you observe, okay, 60% capacity, electricity is given as 25,200. In this, 50% is fixed means, okay, 12,000, how much will be that? 25,200 divided by 12, divided by 2, sorry, okay, 12,600 and 12,600. 12,600 is fixed, 12,600 is variable. Similar calculation for repairs and maintenance. 70% is fixed, they say. So 7,000 ka 70% is 4,900, which is fixed. Remaining portion will be variable. So that is what they are doing here, right? So 49,000 is fixed, remaining 2,100 is variable. Electricity also 1,500. Okay, 50%, 50% they are mentioned, right? 12,600, 12,600, right? That is the calculation. Now, one observation we need to see here is fixed expenses, what is mentioned, will not change irrespective of the level of activity. Whether you are at the 50% capacity or the 60% capacity or 70%, fixed amount will not change. So you have been given the information for 60% capacity, write the same amounts in the 50 and 70%. Same with the electricity fixed portion. You have calculated it for the 60%, write the same figures for the 50 and 70%. Same logic for the other three fixed overheads. You see, all are same irrespective of the level of activity. So you have been given this information, simply rewrite this information in the other capacity levels. Now the actual part is writing the variable overheads, and which is very simple as well. I'll explain with 2-3 amounts, okay, you'll understand the logic. Observe, indirect material is 8,400, which is at 60% capacity. 8,400 is at 60% capacity. So write it in the denominator. Divide it with the 60. And if you're calculating it for 50, simply multiply it with 50. You will get this answer 7,000. Same for the 70% also. 8,400 is for 60% capacity. Multiply it with 70 to get this amount, 9,800. So all the variable expenses, okay, can be calculated like this for their respective capacity levels, right? So this is how you will calculate for the variable overheads as well as the semi-variable overheads also. Okay, wherever there is the variable portion, you can calculate in the same way. 2,100 is for 60% capacity. So 2,100 divided by 60, you write. And if you're calculating for 50%, you multiply it with 50, you will get the 1750, right? So that's how you will write all the expenses. You'll simply categorize your overheads as variable, semi-variable, and fixed. In the semi-variable, again, you will break up into fixed and variable, then take the totals. Simple, you'll get the totals. Estimated direct labor hours is given in the question. Okay, 1,20,000 is for 60%. And what will be for the 50%? Same calculation again. 1,20,000 labor hours is for 60% capacity. What will be for 50? Multiply it with 50, you'll get the answer, right? Similarly, if you want it for 70%, you multiply it with 70. So you're getting 1 lakh, 120, and 140. You divide the total cost with the labor hours, you'll get the overhead rate, right? So with that, your answer will be complete. Even if you are getting a theory, a problem question like this, you need not be worried. It is as simple as this to calculate. Okay, you just need little time to practice these questions, right? Now we'll move on to the other types of questions that are being asked. Okay, question number 11B. Okay, sorry, 10B will be for standard costing. Whenever there is a standard costing question, it will be based on variances. We'll see, okay, how the material variances are calculated. Look at this question. From the following particulars, okay, calculate material cost variance, material usage variance, as well as material price variance and mix variance. We have clear formulas for this, right? In my video in the SIA app, when I was explaining a detailed lecture on this, I have given you all the tricks to remember these formulas. So I urge you to download the SIA app and refer to those videos. It will be of much use to you. Okay, you can gain good marks, full marks, right? Right. So just to give you a small update, okay, formula file has been uploaded in the description, right? Please download it, refer to the formulas, practice it, okay, and okay, you will definitely get good marks once you are confident with the formulas, right? Continuing here, as I was mentioning, okay, all the formulas, be good with the formulas, okay, and you'll see how a question gives you a straightforward information. Simply you need to substitute in the formulas. Look at the question. Materials are given. Okay, three types of materials are being used here. A, B, C. Standard quantities, standard prices, actual quantities, and actual prices are given. And they are asking you to calculate MCV, MUV, okay, MPV, and MMV. Formulas are there. Substitute and get the answers. Okay. First, we'll calculate the material cost variance. Okay. What is the formula? Standard quantity multiplied by standard price minus actual quantity multiplied by actual price. We'll calculate it for all the three. Okay. Uh, formula, all the three materials, right? So here it has been calculated on the overall basis, but you need to calculate for individual material, right? So observe, what is the standard quantity for A? 10. What is the standard price? 8. Multiply that, it is 80. What is the actual quantity for A? 10. What is the actual price for A, material A? It is 7. It is 70. Now, material cost variances, MCV, I mean, okay, standard quantity, I mean, standard cost minus actual cost, okay, my mistake. Material cost variance is standard cost minus actual cost. Standard cost is calculated as standard quantity multiplied by standard price. Actual cost is calculated as actual quantity into actual price. 80 minus 70 will give you 10 rupees. It is favorable only. It is positive, that's why we'll write favorable. Right? You need to do the same calculation for all the materials, other materials. That is about the material cost variance. Now, when it comes to material price variance, this is the formula. You are looking at the difference in the price, standard price and the actual price. You multiply it with the actual quantity, you'll get the price variance, right? So for individual materials, they have calculated A, B, C. You have the actual quantities straight away given in the question. Very straightforward. Okay, these are the totals, by the way. Okay, 22 and 24, which helps you in calculating the revised standard quantity. I'll let you know in some time. So information is given. Actual quantity is 1095. Simply take that 1095. Standard prices are given. Actual prices are given. Okay, do the calculation. You'll get. Okay. Now, whenever you get minus here, please write it as adverse. Whenever you are getting positive, please write favorable. Positive means favorable, negative means adverse. Okay. So ఇక్కడ కూడా 5 favorable you need to write. So has taken the overall total and has mentioned that material price variance on an overall basis is 6 rupees favorable. How did he get it? 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 minus 9 is 6 only. Okay. So positive. So it is favorable. So hope you have got the idea. You need to know the formula, substitute. How straightforward it is. It has been asked in the previous year, June 2024. Right? Information is given straightforward to you. Substitute it in the formulas, get the answers. And the simple 12 marks you can earn. Same for the other formulas as well. Okay. You can see material usage variance. This is the formula. He is looking at the difference in the usage of the quantity, multiplying it with the standard price. Formulas have already been given in the description. I have also explained the logics, the tricks to remember this formulas in my SIA app video lectures, right? So substitute the information and get the answers. Okay, as simple as that. Now, when it comes to revised standard quantity calculation, okay, when you have to calculate material mix variance, okay, you need revised standard quantities of all the materials. Standard price should be multiplied with the difference between the revised standard quantity and the actual quantity, right? So how to calculate the revised standard quantity? Here is the formula. Revised standard quantity is calculated as, for any material if you are calculating, let's suppose for material A you are calculating, you will take the standard quantity of that A, divide it with the total standard quantity. It is for all A plus B plus C, and multiply it with what? Actual quantity of that particular material. So use this formula and calculate the revised standard quantities for all the materials, and simply substitute these figures in the calculation, right? So when you are calculating material mix variance, even when you are calculating the yield variance also, revised standard quantities need to be calculated. So our వచ్చిన figures ni as simply substituted in the formula, he got the answers, right? One small observation here, ikkada minus they are mentioning, okay? While writing your answers, you need to write it as adverse, and if it is a positive amount, you please write it as favorable. Okay, here also 7.68 adverse. When you are taking the totals also, okay, please write in this way only, favorable or adverse. Favorable means positive, adverse means negative. So that's how all the material variances will be calculated. Okay, a 12-mark question, okay, which was asked in June 2024. As simple as this, you need to know the formulas. That's why put efforts. First అయితే మీరు యూనిట్ 4 యూనిట్ 5 మంచిగా ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి. Please practice well with the formats there. In unit 1 you have theory, so don't worry about it. So you'll get full on full marks from here. Unit 1, unit 4 and unit 5. You need to put little efforts on these unit 3 and unit 4, right? So unit 2 also, when you are preparing, okay, both problems, even we just now saw the flexible budget, how easy it was. Variable calculation only you need to just learn, right? Fixed was same only, right? At different levels of capacity. When it comes to variance analysis, simply formula based. Please revise the formulas. Please be good with the formulas. Information will be given to you. Simply substitute it and get the answers. Same for the labor variances also. You just need to be good with the formulas. They will be giving you the information. Standard rate is given. Standard hours is given. Please remember, standard hours is always for actual output. So whenever you are calculating standard hours, you need to make sure that is it for actual quantity or not, right? So actual rate is given, AR, this is SH, this is standard rate. Okay, actual hours are given. He is asking you to calculate labor cost variance, labor rate variance, and labor efficiency variance. Simply all are formula based. Just like how we solved material variances, it will be based on this labor rate now. Okay. So standard wage, standard wages, okay, whatever is the given information, he has simply substituted and calculating. Okay. So labor cost variance is standard cost minus actual labor cost. Standard hours multiplied by standard rate minus actual hours multiplied by actual rate. Information is given, simply substitute in the formula, get the answer. Same with the other two rates as well, other two variances as well, rate variance and efficiency variance. Rate variance looks at the difference between the rate, multiplied difference in the rate with the actual hours. Efficiency variance looks at the difference between your employee efficiency. I'm allowing him some number of hours, is he doing it within the allowed number of hours or not? Okay, so multiply it with the standard rate, you'll get the efficiency variance. So look at the presentation, write the formula, substitute the amounts, write it, is it favorable or adverse. Finally, write the results as summarizing it, right? So in this way, simply you are getting 12 marks with this. Okay, one page also it will not take when you write in the exam, right? So if you have any doubts, please let me know. Right. We'll move on to unit 1. Looks like there are no doubts there. Right. So we are on to the final unit. Okay. We are going in the reverse order if you have observed. Right. I was suggesting that you please focus mainly when you are solving the problems in the exam also. Go with unit 5, unit 4, and then, okay, unit 1. Then go with unit 2 or unit 3. This is my suggestion for you. Okay. If you solve in this way, you will get good marks. Right. So whenever you are writing the answers, okay, start with those areas which you are strong. If you are strong with theory, go ahead with the theory. If you are strong with the problems, okay, please start with the problems only with good presentation. If it is a format based, please, okay, excel in the formulas formats. If it is formula based, okay, write the formulas and get the answers, right? As simple as that. Question number 9A and question number 9B is for unit 1. Okay, 9A, you'll get a theory question, damn sure a theory question here from the management accounting. So those students who struggle with the problems, okay, whose stronger area is theory, can get, okay, full marks from this area, right? And if you are, okay with the problems, okay, safe side, if you want to get marks, good marks, full marks from a theory problem based question, okay, this is coming from break even analysis and CVP analysis, we can say. There are 5 formulas. The formulas have been given to you in the description, right? Please make sure after this class, you please download the PDF, be good with the formulas, రాయండి చదవండి మళ్ళీ మళ్ళీ రాయండి, you will be good with the formulas, so that when you are going to exam tomorrow, simply need to apply the formulas and get the answers, right? After your exam, okay, you'll definitely, okay, thank Sia for providing this, okay, to you, right? So look at this. The chances are like this: one theory, one problem. 90% chances are there for this type of questions being asked. Right? Very rarely you may see both problems. Okay. As such, there is no problems that can be asked in management accounting. Right? So both theory also is possible. Okay, because they might ask a theory question from the variance. I mean the break-even analysis here. Okay, they may ask you what is break-even point, okay, how to analyze, okay, they may ask you what is marginal costing, differentiate it with the absorption costing. These types of questions can also be asked in the theory there, right? So now we'll look at the problems that are coming in this area, right? So as I've mentioned, management accounting has no problems. It is purely theory, right? I've explained all the theory concepts on the SIA app, very detailed. I have covered everything there, okay? So this app is for students, okay? Make sure the good advantage, take the maximum benefit from this app, okay? So it is student friendly. The cost is also not high. As you go into the app, you will understand that, inta takkunda, right? You will be surprised that, okay, the cost is mentioned very less, and for what you're paying, you're getting a lot more resources. You're getting PDFs, last minute revision notes, right? Detailed answers, as well as video lectures. And this is the advantage, video lectures, right? So take advantage of that. We'll be looking at a question, okay, here, which is based on the break-even analysis, right? A multi-product company furnishes you the following data relating to the year 2009 and 2010. They are giving you this information. This is for 2009, this is for 2010. So they are giving you the information for sales and cost. With this, you can calculate the, okay, profit, right? So the problem here is you don't have the breakup of what is fixed, what is variable. That is important in the break-even analysis, right? So you need to apply various formulas and get the breakup of this fixed cost and variable cost, because all the problems that are based on break-even analysis, okay, use a concept called as contribution. Sales minus variable cost will give you contribution, which is same as the total of the fixed cost and the profit, right? And this contribution, with this contribution, you will be calculating PV ratio, which is helpful for you in calculating other formulas like break-even analysis, or you are calculating what you say, the contribution or the variable cost, which we'll see here. Okay, so contribution percentage is nothing but the PV ratio per PV ratio. Using that, you will be able to calculate what is the variable cost and the fixed cost, right? So sales information, cost information is given. Sales is for the previous year 45,000, current year is 40. Okay, and then 50,000 and 43,000 for the current year. Assuming that there is no change in prices with variable cost carefully controlled to reflect the predetermined relationships and an underlying figure to fixed cost. Okay, Nadu is saying that there is no change in the prices. Whatever was the previous year data will continue. Right? Calculate profit volume ratio, PV ratio. What is the formula? Okay, it is contribution by sales into 100. Now, how to calculate contribution? Contribution is calculated as sales minus variable cost. I have the sales information, but what about the variable cost? Right? I don't have the breakup of the fixed cost and the profits as well. I have the profits, okay, but what about the fixed cost? So we'll not go with this formula. We have a different formula for calculating PV ratio. It is difference in the profit divided by difference in the sales into 100. Okay. So the second formula you need to note down is difference in profits divided by the difference in sales into 100. So with this, you'll get the profit volume ratio. Please note, whatever PV ratio you got, if you minus it with 100, okay, you will get the variable cost percentage. Variable cost percentage is nothing but 100 minus PV ratio. Now, when you apply this VC percentage on sales, you will get the variable cost. Using that variable cost, you'll minus it from the total cost, you'll get the fixed cost. Now, why I'm worried about the fixed cost? Because I have to calculate the break-even sales. The numerator is fixed cost only. So, fixed cost divided by PV ratio is break-even sales, right? And also, okay, they have clearly asked what is fixed expenses. So, you calculate the PV ratio, you calculate the VC percentage based on that 100 minus PV ratio, apply that on the sales figures 45,000 and the 50,000, you'll get the variable cost. Minus the variable cost from the total cost, you'll get the fixed expenses. Using fixed expenses, you'll calculate break-even sales and then margin of safety. Margin of safety is nothing but total sales minus break-even sales. And they very simple in four items they have asked: profit volume ratio, fixed expenses, break-even sales, and margin of safety. Right? And information is given. So whatever explanation I have given, okay, we'll be seeing in this problem now. PV ratio is calculated as change in profit divided by change in sales into 100. Profit, how to calculate? Total sales minus total cost is the profit. That is what they are doing. Sales minus total cost is giving you the profit for the previous year here, profit for the current year. The difference is the change. 7,000 minus 5,000 is 2,000. That will be put in the numerator, right? 2,000. Similarly, change in sales they are calculating, okay? So the difference between the current year and the previous year sales is 5,000 that they have put it here in the denominator. Multiply it with 100, you'll get the PV ratio 40%. If PV ratio is 40%, what is variable cost percentage? 60%. 100 minus 40 is 60%. Apply the 60% on the sales, you'll get the variable cost. Okay. So that is what they are doing here. Observe. Okay. Fixed cost is nothing but the total cost minus variable cost per unit and sales. That information is not available. So they are calculating the contribution. Then, okay, they are calculating the variable cost. Okay, they are doing it in a different way. We have already learned sales minus variable cost is contribution. So they are calculating the contribution using the PV ratio. They have the sales. So, okay, what will be the formula then? V is equal to, okay, S minus contribution. That is what they are doing. They are calculating the contribution sales multiplied by PV ratio. They have calculated it for 2010, 20,000. They have the fixed cost, okay, which is nothing but contribution minus profit. That is another formula, right? They'll get the fixed cost. It is based on this equation, marginal cost equation. Sales minus variable cost is equal to contribution is equal to fixed cost plus profit. So they are going ahead with this formula. They are getting the fixed cost from this directly. Or, okay, I've also mentioned other way. You calculated the VC percentage on the sales, you'll get the VC. Minus it from the total cost, you'll get the fixed cost. Okay, that is the another way of calculating it. So in that way, fixed cost you have seen. Now, what is break-even sales? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio will give you break-even sales. From the first two calculations. Okay, in the first calculation we calculated PV ratio 40%. In the next calculation we calculated fixed cost as 13,000. Divide it with 40%, you'll get break-even sales. So break-even sales is the no profit, no loss situation, right? So if you are selling 32,500, you have recovered all of your costs and you have zero profit situation. Any one more unit you will sell, you will be in the profit directly. That is what is margin of safety. Margin of safety is actual sales minus break-even sales. Okay, 50,000 minus 32,500 for the previous year. Okay, you'll get 17,500. Percentage also is calculating over the total sales. You are getting 35%. For 2009 also you can calculate. Okay, same figure. Okay, you need to take the total sales minus it with the break-even sales. You'll get the margin of safety, right? So we have discussed all the formula, all the problems from all the units. Okay, right from the cash flow statement. We started at 8 o'clock. Okay, now we are near 10 o'clock. Okay, I'm appreciating you for being here, and okay, you are eager to learn. So you will do okay wonders in tomorrow's exam. So whether it is a problem or whether it is theory, okay, you decide. Okay, the advantage with solving problems is you'll get full marks, and make use of the CR app, make the maximum use of the CR app, right? So, what all benefits you'll have there? Okay, not only for the CCMA exam, you will have the upcoming exams, right? So, make use of the CR app, refer to your friends. Okay, what all you are getting here? You are getting topic notes, videos. This is the highlight here. Okay, PDFs, previous year questions, frequently asked questions, and the entire syllabus document. Okay, so it is like all in one. It is the resourceful app for all the students. Okay, so make the best use of the app, download it today. And I'm not sponsoring it or anything, obviously I would say, but this is for your benefit. This app is made for students, so that's why it is very cost effective also. You'll be surprised when you go onto the app and see the price of this, right? Very, very less. Okay, so make the best use of it. Okay, purchase it and go with the notes, detailed videos which I have explained there. All the formulas have been given in the detailed PDF notes. So please prepare well. Okay, solve problems, do the practice of problems. One side you need to be good with the formats and the formulas, but అవి నేర్చుకొని ఏంటి ఫాయిదా, you need to apply it to the problem, solve one or two problems, then you'll see okay how easy it is, right? So before I conclude, I wish you all the best from Sia Publishers. Okay, crack well, you'll get maximum marks if you okay utilize this time very properly with Sia app, right? Be good with the formats, be good with the formulas, solve the problems. That's all you need to do. Exam strategy I've already mentioned. Okay, start with part B and then go to part A. Why I'm not saying with part A, because you might get theory and problems both there, right? So that's the thing, right? Start with part B, gain pass marks first confidently. You get the marks from unit 4, unit 5, unit 1, then okay grab marks from other chapters, other units, right? So before I leave, I'll just check the comment box. Okay, if you have any doubts, I'll clarify. Okay, and then we'll conclude the class. Right. Looks like one student have identified a small mistake. Calculation error is there in a question. Okay. So that can be sorted out while calculating. There was a small printing mistake there. Right. So we have analyzed the entire syllabus in these 2 hours. Right. I wish you all the best. I wish all of you, okay, come up with flying colors tomorrow. Okay. Once you are done with the exam, please come back on this video and comment. We have given our best, right? It might so happen that whatever we have expected might not come in exam tomorrow, but it is not in our hands, right? You should understand. But we have analyzed all the past papers and we have given the best, okay? Those areas where you can focus. In this little time, we are giving you those areas which you can focus. We have providing the support class here, okay? So just be okay, I just wanted to be clear about this, okay? I wish that you get what we are expecting tomorrow, right? So but it might happen the same questions might not be coming, so you don't dishearten, okay? Please come back and comment your views tomorrow after your exam, and that will be a motivation for us, okay, in doing a much more better videos for the student community, right? All the best from Sia Publishers. Please come back tomorrow on this video and comment your answers. Thank you so much. Yes,